going down, guys? It's your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show once again. Thank you guys for joining me and listening. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about a few things this episode, and that episode is episode number 83. Yes, man, it's been quite a journey, man. The road to 100 is drawing near. Very proud to say that, and very proud to have you guys listening with me moving forward with this podcast. But let's get started, guys. I want to talk about a few things today. It's not going to be a very big podcast, I don't think, this week, but I do have some things to talk about. A little tidbit on the upcoming Dragon Ball movie. Got some news from a guy who goes by the name of Geekdom 101. It's a fabulous channel. It's a guy who basically talks about, a lot of anime, a lot of Dragon Ball, mainly Dragon Ball stuff, but, talks about a lot of different things anime wise. But he basically said that a little birdie told him that within the first 20 or 30 minutes of this movie, that we're going to be crying. Okay. Something bad is going to happen. Something sad is going to happen. I don't know what that is going to be. I'm really curious. I'm really anxious to see what that is. We shall see. We definitely shall see. The more I hear about this movie, every little piece that is whispered in the streets or heard on the internet or whatever, man, it just makes me want to watch it that much more. It can't come fast enough. There's going to be supposedly a private viewing at some event in Japan in November, believe it or not. And that's when, I think November 24th, so somewhere around that time is when we're going to be getting some, they're going to actually do a private showing of this. So be looking out at the end of November for, a lot of spoilers, a lot of different, news coming out and all of that. Also, if you're a Dragon Ball collector, like me, as far as, collectibles and figurines and things of that nature, then, they got some stuff coming in the works as well. They got Brawly, the new version of Brawly out here. There's some pictures on the internet you can actually go check out. They're smaller Gashfon type of figures. They're like a smaller statue type, but they're really great, highly detailed. To be honest with you, some of my favorite Dragon Ball merch are like on the scale to like 2 to 3 inches, man. And you wouldn't think that something so small could be so detailed, and they fucking are, man. I mean, they came a long way. I'll put it like that. They came a long way since the late 90s on some of the shit that they're putting out Dragon Ball wise, not just Dragon Ball wise, but just anything, any of your favorite anime, figurines or statues or whatever, man. They, the artists are unreal right now. But, there's a couple of mystery characters that you can see the silhouette, but you can't see the actual physical the physical character. One of the motherfuckers looks like, I'm not lying, it looks kind of like Cooler base form. Or you could kind of argue that it possibly looks a little bit like Hit, because it's just an outline shadow. Like, it's not any spiky hair or anything. The head is like really smooth and round. So I'm wondering, like, who is this? Now, they're going to be announcing, all of these pretty soon. So that's going to give away actually the characters in this movie. So, we're looking for things like that, any kind of news on that would give anybody an idea of, what or who all is going to be in this movie or not. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I can't wait. I'll definitely be watching it at the theater. When it comes out, I will definitely be making that purchase, just like I did with Resurrection of F. And anything else that these guys put out, especially movie wise, man, it's cheaper than the seasons and easier, to get your hands on. But definitely worth the mention. I thought I'd mention that to you guys because this is a Dragon Ball podcast as well. It's in the name, so I had to bring this to you guys' attention. And like I said, the Dragon Ball stuff has been kind of lackluster because there's not a lot going on, as what's going on right now. So, be looking out for more Dragon Ball content. When this movie comes out, it's going to be a ton more content. Anything Dragon Ball related in gaming or anything like that, guys, I will definitely let you guys know on the show. And, in Dragon Ball Superstars in 2019, man, it's going to be a wild podcast because there's going to be a lot of shit going on. There's going to be a lot more shit to talk about. And I might even dive back into, regular Dragon Ball topics, regular Dragon Ball Super topics, Dragon Ball Z topics, and just, create some topics, man, to talk about because, there's still plenty of things to talk about, concerning Dragon Ball, period. Favorite characters, best fight scenes, all of these type of things can be discussed. You know what I mean? I've discussed some of this in the past and way back, I'm going to say like over a year back. But, I would like to revisit some of these things and talk about some of these things, especially with some of the new listeners who hadn't had a chance to listen to, those early podcasts anyway. And to be honest with you, those early podcasts weren't, the creme de la creme as far as the sound quality and everything. I was still working it out and figuring out my sound and figuring out my process and how everything works. So now, I would definitely like to revisit that, but I would definitely like to revisit that with a panel with some friends, and I'm working on getting that shit together, guys. I know I've mentioned it before, where I was going to have a panel, and I'm going to be talking with other friends who have the same interest in anime and games and stuff like that, and we're going to be talking about games and Dragon Ball and just all anime period in general. So that's coming. I'm working on a few things. I need a couple of pieces of equipment, and a couple other things need to be lined up, but trust me, it's coming. I don't want to put a date on it. I want to say October, but I don't want to say October and not happen in October. So it's definitely coming though. It'll definitely be sometime at the end of this year for sure. That is definitely the plan. In 2019 at the very fucking latest, because I got a lot of stuff planned, guys. 2019. I got giveaways. I got all kind of shit, man. I'm gonna be giving away t-shirts, prizes. Yeah, man, I got some dope shit in the works, man. So be looking out for that. Follow your boy on YouTube, Studio MacGyver TV. Definitely doing some things with that too. That's going to have a facelift. And yeah, man, so I'm going to be putting out more content. Just trying to do more for the community, more for, everybody out there who enjoys the same shit that I do, gaming and anime and nerd culture and those type of things. So I just thought I'd add that for you guys. But now I want to talk a little bit about Sony. Yeah, Sony is definitely making a move. They are going to finally submit, if you want to call it submit, and they're going to bow down and they're going to basically start doing crossplay. So they're, going to start to play with others now. And, in my opinion, if you ask me, it's something that, it's not going to really hurt anybody. I mean, if everybody's playing Fortnite and everybody has Fortnite on the, their said system or whatever, and you can play other people on the server, man, that's kind of cool. That's a cool thing. I mean, in my opinion, so that you don't necessarily just have to have one system for a third party game. I mean, it just makes sense to do it that way, bring all gamers together. Excuse me, guys, and I'm getting sick, but yeah, I just think that's a cool thing to do. Everybody doesn't have the same taste in gaming consoles for whatever reason that is, and nobody should be, I guess, ostracized, but because of that, you know what I mean? If you're a Nintendo fanboy and you love your Nintendo Switch, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to get into some gangster shit with somebody, on the Xbox or Sony. You know what I mean? From time to time. So I think that's cool, and I'm glad Sony is doing that, even though they technically don't have to do it. I mean, they're doing quite well without it. But I guess in today's society, a couple of people turn into a couple hundred, and then those turn into 1,000, and you got all these people complaining and doing this and this and that, and they like, well, fuck it. I mean, they probably had a meeting and made some decisions. So just thought I'd mention that, guys. Sony is definitely going to be doing crossplay in the future, so I guess you'll be looking out for that. Yeah, man. Something else I wanted to talk about is a little something about Red Dead. Got some information the other day, man, and it kind of fucking blew my mind. Technically, it's nothing new when you are talking about these newer titles that are coming out, and I'm talking about the size of these games. This game, Red Dead Redemption 2, is going to be 105 gigabytes in size. That's how big this fucking game is. Okay. So I hope you guys have space. I hope you guys have shit saved up because, if you have some shit you're not playing, get rid of it, uninstall it and make some room for this because it's going to get crucial. And I'm just like, these games are getting ridiculous, man. That's also how you know how big this game is. Like, I mean, they said this is going to be a big ass game. Okay. This is going to be some shit that they haven't done before. And, hey, I mean, if you need that space to do it, Rockstar, hey, by all means, do your thing. Do what you have to do. I need to invest, I guess, into an external hard drive. A couple of them, to be honest. Number one, to back up all my other games that I've paid for and then bought digitally. And number two, for things like this, because I'm buying the physical copy of this game, but still gonna I still have to have space for all of this after the fact. That's the only thing I'm perplexed about, man, because back in the maybe months ago, maybe a year ago, I was on a different kind of trip. I was on there. Well, I'm just gonna go digital because I'm buying physical and I'm putting the game in and playing it, and then they tell me, oh, you have to download 50 gigabytes of this, even though I have the physical copy of the game. I don't understand that. Street Fighter did that shit. A lot of games do it now. Spider-Man did it recently. I mean, I think I downloaded 54 gigabytes. You know what I mean? And had the physical copy of the game. So I'm like, I really want to know this. Like, what is the physical copy? Like, what's on that? You know what I mean? Is like, please tell me. I would love to know. Is that just the saves? I don't know, because if you're downloading 50 plus gigabytes and you have the physical copy, what all are they putting on this disc? I mean, then it's like, is it even worth having physical copies? Because let's say that, eventually the PlayStation 4, the servers are going to go down and they're not going to be usable anymore. So I'm taking it. I'm guessing that, you download your games that you have, to some kind of device, hard drive or whatever. And then say you have a physical copy of, say, Spider-Man, and you want to play said game. I guess you have to download the day one patch, I guess, and have that on, keep that on deck, because the game alone is not going to fix everything. It's going to probably be badly bugged, and who knows what else is going to be missing if you don't play it alongside of that day one patch. Those are the questions, that I have. Even though, collecting the physical copies of the games, makes more sense to me now just for collection purposes is whatnot as well. But, there's some games, don't get it twisted though. There are some games that actually do operate off of the fucking disc. The Last Guardian did that. I just fucking knew I was going to have to download a shitload of data before I played that, and I didn't. It ran right off the fucking disc. There's some like tiny baby patches, that came, after the game was released, and it's just like some megabytes. It's nothing big. So, why can't more games be like that? I don't understand. Can you guys please, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, I mean, I hope to God that you guys are able to, remedy that. I'm assuming it's going to be a disc, so whatever this disc is that they're using, I'm hoping that, whatever it is that they put out will definitely just be on the disc. Please, I'm so tired of these huge fucking patches, man. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So if you don't have the internet, I mean, you're fucked. What if something happens and you don't have the internet for whatever reason, like you're moving or something, and the internet guy's not going to be there for some days or whatever. I've recently dealt with that because, I had put out a podcast late because of that, and there's been other issues. So what happens when that occurs? What do? If you want to play something and you want to play offline, how does that work? Oh, well, I'm not sure. Now, of course, if you already downloaded a game previously and you have that information on your Sony, I mean, it's cool. But I'm just saying, I'm just speaking for people who might not have that luxury or whatever, for whatever reason. Maybe they deleted some stuff and they like, oh, well, I still have the physical copy. I can play it. And then they can't because it's not playable. It's a fucking coaster until they get their internet on and they can download that patch. I don't know, man. That's just me talking out the side of my neck. I'm keeping it real. I'm just a guy who likes to play video games. I'm just a guy who, loves some anime. I'm just a guy who, who's a homebody who just, my perfect world is sitting in my man cave, playing games, watching anime and movies and just vegging out in here. And I could do that shit all day, every day. That's just me. That's the type of person I am. My idea of a fucking vacation is, me by myself with all of my games and, some anime to watch, some new anime, I might hook up some stuff and just sit back, man, and relax and let my conscience be free. I'm a simple man. I'm simple. I'm a simple nerd, if you want to call it that. But, and I'm glad for that. I thank God for that. Cause there's some people out here that just they don't even know what the fuck they want. They don't know what they want to do. They don't even know themselves. You know what I mean? And that's gotta suck. But to know what you like, to know what you love to do and that be able to have that and for it to be something as simple as this, that's a beautiful thing, man, because I can, I know what it is. It's in front of me. It's easily attained, so I don't know, man. I'm just talking out the side of my neck, guys. But I'm going to just say, I hope that they change that up when the new consoles drop. That's all I'm saying. So I know I have to pay for a lot of hard drives, and I'm probably going to do it Black Friday so that, I can start backing up my games on these hard drives and, future games, so I can have some kind of space on the Sony, to do other things, man, like record gaming footage and whatever else I got going on. A little bit of some news that you guys might or might not know. Telltale Games is going down. They're closing its doors. They've already basically fired everybody in the building except for maybe 15, 20 people. Graveyard, crew is in there left. So there was a lot of Telltale games coming out, slated for at the end of this year, early next year. And those things aren't going to happen because I don't know why they went out of business. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, man, they're closing their doors. And this is something that happens in our industry a lot. There's companies who, do things and, somebody pulls out, maybe a major backer, with some serious coin, decides they're pulling out. They don't like the way the market is looking or for whatever reason. And then, that company is fucked. So basically everybody who spent hours and hours, probably working 6 days a week, probably working 10, 12-hour days, are, basically told, hey, you're done. And the fucked up thing about this whole situation is these guys weren't given any severance packages or anything. They were just told that, you got 30 minutes to come get your shit. And that's it. That's a wrap. Most companies at least have the decency to let you know. There's some sort of law, if I'm not mistaken, that they have to give you a certain amount of days and let everybody know. And then, usually most companies, give you some sort of severance package. And, they have done none of those things. So I think there's a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter or something for some of these guys. And, good for them. Hopefully, I hope everything works out for them. I hope that they find their way, whether it be with a new company, whether it be, something else, something to basically put them back on the road again and not have them unemployed in this type of way, because it's a shame. And it's happened and it'll continue to happen in certain companies in the future. I mean, it's not going to stop, but it's just fucked up when it does happen. And, my heart goes out to those guys. I didn't play Telltale Games. I wasn't really a fan of Telltale Games. But there were a lot of people who were, and, I respect anybody in this industry because this is the industry that I love. I love the gaming industry and I love video games. So, anybody who has a hand in doing that, I wish nothing but the best for them. So I had to, I guess, pay my condolences on this podcast. If anybody out there is listening, I hope that everything goes better than it's been for you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, man. Next thing I want to talk about, guys, is something that I just stumbled upon, like literally before I started recording this podcast. And this goes out to all the Nintendo Switch owners out there, including myself, man. If you're not familiar with Nintendo Switch, for the people who don't own the system or know nothing really about it, Nintendo, they're hard-headed motherfuckers, man. Okay. What I mean is they're very, very stubborn and set in their ways. I don't know why, they're set in these ways, because a lot of these ways are very, very prehistoric in the gaming world. Or maybe they're just getting around to it in their own time, but they're taking fucking forever if they plan on that. Okay. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but I just want to say that, there's a company called okay. How do you pronounce this? Okay. Arctis. That's ARCTIS 3. Okay. They're Bluetooth headphones. All right. And they're designed to basically play your Nintendo Switch and give you the option to chat with other players. How this works is it's a Bluetooth headphone, so you can use it it works not just for that. You can use it for the Switch, but you can also use it for other things as well. But a lot of people are using it for the Switch because instead of hooking all these fucking cords up to the phone and excuse me, and all this other bullshit, all it is this one cord. It's the headphones. You plug it into the Switch, and boom, there you go. Then you run your Bluetooth off of the app, the Nintendo app, and then you're good to go. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, that's how it works, man. If you try to do it the other way around, because there's another way. There's another set of headphones. Nintendo has actually got pictures of this up, and it's basically showing you how to connect it. There's a lot of cords. There's a cord going from your phone to the headphones, and the headphones to the fucking Switch, and then it looked like a fucking train wreck. Done a bunch of cords, all this shit. It's just petty, man. Nintendo needs to get off of this shit. But this Arctis 3 Bluetooth headphone said it's out here for you if you want to try it out. It's $100. You can get it. I'm sure you can probably get them at Best Buy or wherever headphones are sold. So definitely check that out, guys. If you're tired of going through that app and having to jump through 5 or 6 hoops just to get a conversation going with another player, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm probably going to get some one day eventually, but there's still some things I have to get for the Switch that I haven't gotten yet before I can even get that. I mean, one thing about Nintendo, man, they have a shitload of accessories. A lot of them pretty useful, also, but yeah, I just hope they get with the program on a future update, because right now, I mean, this brings me to another topic real quick that I wanted to talk about, and that's how why Nintendo, let me rephrase that. Why Nintendo isn't doing certain things. Okay. Perfect example. Let me give you this. There are hackers out here right now that have, tapped into the kernel of the system, which is basically like an operating system of the Switch, and went in there and did some simple shit. They said it's very simple. Anybody can do it. Even a caveman can do it. Where you go in there and you change a few things, and basically what it does is it allows you to customize your Nintendo Switch like you would customize your, Sony PSP or Xbox. I'm not really familiar about how the Xbox One customization works, but Sony, you can pretty much create your own fucking your own look of your PlayStation. You can navigate You can set your own pictures, your screensavers or whatever, custom, all of that shit. And it was the same for the PlayStation 3. That's one thing that really I loved about that, as opposed to the Xbox 360. I was like, yo, it's pretty dope. And then it was a Blu-ray player and all that shit. But that's another story. But what I'm trying to say is these hackers found a way to do it quite simply, at that. And they're wondering why, Nintendo hasn't done this yet. I mean, if it's that simple that, one or two guys figured out how to do it, what is Nintendo waiting for? Why doesn't Nintendo implement this in their operating system, man? It can be done so easily, and it wouldn't hurt a fly. It wouldn't hurt anybody. I'm not going to do it because I'm shook. Nintendo has me fucking shook because all the things that they've been doing to people who quote unquote oppose them. And I mean, using third party, devices that doesn't have the Nintendo brand on it or whatever. They're going to fucking brick your system. All right. And I don't want to be that dude who has a fucking, Nintendo Switch as a motherfucking beer coaster. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just too shook. I'm too scared. I don't want to do it. But, I'm just trying to wait and hope that Nintendo picks that shit up on their own and fixes that, because I don't see why they wouldn't. The only thing that I can come up with is Nintendo is just wanting to do everything on their fucking time. Look, motherfucker, we see those steps. You want us to jump off those steps? We're not jumping. We're going to walk down the steps. When we're ready, the party's not over. I'm still drinking beer. Like, I don't know what the fuck Nintendo's thinking. I don't know what's taking them so long. The internet, their online shit is it's ridiculous. I mean, you can play Fortnite already natively, in voice chat. It comes native. Okay, if you had some headphones and you stuck them in your Switch and you put in Fortnite, guess what? You're talking to other Fortnite players. Okay. Now, my question is, why can't Nintendo allow this to take place on other games? Okay. It just doesn't make sense to me. You can't invite a friend to a game. There's no party chat. Okay. I mean, these are things that are so prehistoric. They're last gen. Even, shit in the PlayStation 2 and Xbox was doing a lot of this shit. Okay. I don't understand it, man. Especially you want to make we're in the age where everybody's making friends, everybody's meeting people, online and things of that nature. And Nintendo should be able to do that. They should be able to allow their players to do that. I don't know what the fuck they're waiting on. I really don't. And I'll never understand it. And I hope that, in this life cycle, they figure it out and they allow, us to, have parties and they eventually drop that fucking app, because that app is retarded. It's stupid. And everybody who fucks with Nintendo is saying the same shit. I'm not saying anything new. Okay. We all feel the same fucking way. You know what I mean? You do the good outweigh the bad currently right now, in my opinion, from my lens when it comes to Nintendo. Yes, but not by a lot. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of shit weighing the Nintendo down, and these are some of the main things, the simplest things, the things that could easily be done, but Nintendo, for whatever reason, is not trying to play ball with it, man. And I still will never understand it. Who's making those decisions? I know it's not Nintendo of America making those decisions. I know it's those guys in Japan drinking lots and lots of fucking sake and smoking scrolls and endo sticks. I think they're just too fucked up to realize, and too old to realize, what's really going down. I don't know what these motherfuckers are trying to do, what they're trying to prove or what, but they need to fucking get with the program. Okay. I'm serious, man. I am, because this online thing is going on, and that in itself is bare bones right now. I mean, if I want to play Mario Kart with somebody and I had a good game with them, maybe I want to rematch with this guy. Maybe I want to rematch with this girl. Maybe, I want to set something up to, play them again. Maybe we can start a conversation, but we can't do any of those things right now on Nintendo. Okay. Maybe I'd like to join a party who's playing something that, I would like to play, and then we spark up a conversation. We have things in common. We kick it off. Everything's good. And I made a new friend. That's the type of things that, happen on Sony and Xbox. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. That's just how I feel. I'll leave it at that. Um, that's really, that's the show, guys. Wasn't a very long show today. I'm used to going a little longer. I remember when I first started, my shows lasted about 20, 25 minutes. And that was a decent show. But yeah, this is a show. Not a lot to talk about too much. I almost didn't do this show because I just felt that it wasn't quite enough meat and potatoes for you guys. But anything is better than nothing. And if I felt like there was something I needed to say, then I feel that it's enough reason to hit that record button. So that's what I did. A lot of times, a lot more things, happen during the week than the previous week. And, it just happens that way. But to this week, it was pretty even flow, pretty light. And there was a lot going on with me on my end as far as the moving and all of this. I mean, the man cave is almost complete. I'd say like 90%, 95%. So this video will be going up this week. I will definitely, I got one more video to shoot. I will shoot it. Then I will take it, put it on a computer and throw it together, put it in a video and put it on the channel, man. Studio MacGyver TV. You can check out the video this week. I will let you know on Twitter when it is available at Studio MacGyver. If you guys want to reach out, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, on the Facebook channel is also, the Facebook page is at Studio MacGyver as well. You can holler at your boy on Instagram at Studio MacGyver79. Okay. And also, if you want to get some merch, if you want some awesome merch, anime or video game type of things, inspired by games and inspired by anime, then you need to check out Beautiful Nerds. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. Check them out, guys. Got some dope shit. Like I said, one of my favorite shirts is an Ambu Black Ops shirt, man. Got some new shit coming. Got some Team Mario, Team Luigi shit. Some hentai stuff coming, which should be up, by next weekend. So definitely check that out, man. Beautifulnerds.com. Unlock your inner nerd. With that being said, guys, I'm going to get my ass up out of here, man. I got a movie to watch, and then I'm going to marinate and go into a deep coma-like sleep. I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. Shout outs to all of the ones who were down from day one. I love you all, and the new listeners included as well. I don't want to leave anybody out. If you're listening to this, I love you as well. And I'm out, guys. You've been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.